Hi there, good evening. This is something from my kitchen. I felt like Pol Roti, so I thought I will just put few things together and make some Pol Roti tonight, which is Pol is coconut, so that is coconut roti. To make coconut roti, what you need is standard flour, grated coconut. These are freshly grated coconut, but if you can't or if you don't have access to grated freshly, you can use desiccated coconut. And also I have freshly squeezed coconut cream. If you haven't got access to it, you can use coconut cream in the cans, and chopped up curry leaves, chopped onion, chopped green chillies, a little bit of oil, and also coarsely ground chili, dried chilies, and also of course a bit of salt. So what you do is, firstly you get the flour, and then you add all your dry ingredients together, chilies and your curry leaves and chopped onion, chopped green chilies, and a bit of salt. Salt always to taste. And then your coconut. Normally it's 1 to 2. If you have 1 kilo of flour, you use half a kilo of coconut. Here goes coconut, and then you give it a slightly mix up together so that the salt, everything get nicely mixed in, and then you add your coconut cream, and then you just with your hands give it a nice mix up, which should make it into a nice fairly thick dough. And you got to make sure that it's not too watery and too thin, and in the meantime it should not be too dry, and so that over here I add all coconut cream into that. Feels pretty good to me. At this stage you can add a bit of oil into it. Here we are. Add a wee bit of oil. It could be, back home in Sri Lanka we use coconut oil, but here I'm using soya oil. It could be olive oil if you want to. So that now I'm sort of kneading it into a thick dough. And we don't need too much of kneading, because the flour's got its gluten in it, so we don't need to sort of stretch the gluten too much. So I add a wee bit more oil into it. So your dough is nice and thick now. Make sure you get every little bit of flour get stuck into the dough. That's beautiful. And while you are mixing the dough in the bowl, if you want to take it out, that's fine. You can just roll it onto your table and just give it a final slight kneading. Basically your dough is almost ready now. Alrighty, so now in this beautiful dough you can see little bit of green chilies, red chilies, the curry leaves, and the chillis, slowly, and also the onion pieces, chewing up. Now your dough is ready. I just rub a little bit of oil onto it so that it doesn't stick. And then I'm ready to portion this out. So depending on your griddle plate that you're going to cook these rotis, you can decide on the size. So according to the size you want, you just make into little bowls, and also sometimes you make a thicker rotis, and some people like it thinner, what we call the records. So it is your choice. So Jackie used to tell me, like one of her aunts make these rotis, fairly thin, so every time when you go to that house they just say, oh, what for dinner tonight? And they said, what, we're going to have records. So that is the thin rotis what her aunt used to make. Alright, so portioning out, it's pretty easy. What you do is you break the end and make it to a nice bowl. So depending on how many people are going to eat, how many rotis you want, you just make them into little bowls, and so these are your portion size. They don't have to be perfect rounds. As you're going to, as you go, you're going to flatten them up. As I go, the accompaniments. Rotis can be eaten with so many other savory side dishes. It could be meat, fish, and what is very famous and the favorite is what we call the onion sambol, which is fresh onions, chillis, Maldive fish, and also green chilies, curry leaves, pounded together. It's a very nice accompaniment for these rotis. So that's the way we portion out the rotis. And what I'm going to do is next to put them on the griddle plate and cook them. Yeah, basically what we call is, it is not frying it. It's on a flat iron pan, or it could be cast iron, so that we press it in and make it into nice rotis, and then you put it on the griddle plate. So when you're pressing it, you use your fingers and just easy done. See, make it into nice little round rotis. Some people like to use a rolling pin, but for normal day-to-day home cooking you don't need a rolling pin. It doesn't have to be a perfect round. It's just nice and thin, beautiful roti, just like that. And then what we put is we oil up little plate and we put it in on that. So you take another bowl and you just press it in and make it into this whole rotis or the coconut rotis all ready. And now I'm going to put it on this griddle plate, which you can add a little bit of in Sri Lanka we add a bit of coconut oil, but you can have palm oil, a bit of butter in it, and you nicely place it on the griddle plate. So that will get nicely toasted. Here I got another one. This is how you just pass it from palm to palm. Here we go, back again on the griddle plate. And while it's getting toasted, I would like to tell you, today I used the onion, the chilies and the savoury ingredients to make these rotis. But also, if you like, you could use just the coconut and the flour and make the rotis, just plain coconut roti, so that you could use sweet meat. You can add honey, you can add butter, you can add jam, and maybe you could use it as a breakfast item. So this is a very versatile and a very humble dish that where people could use it at any time of the day. And these Pol Rotis are great, gorgeous, beautiful, you name it, and people love it. So while going through that, I'm going to show you the griddle place should not be too hot, and it should be at a medium temperature. And what we are trying to achieve is just light brown, golden brown toasting effect on the surface. And while it is golden brown on both sides, what we have achieved is it has cooked through, your flours cooked, and your roti is cooked through, so that you have a beautiful roti to eat with. And in the meantime, as I mentioned earlier, it's very popular with the coconut sambol, where which I have explained in the past. That sambol goes down very well with these rotis, and also Lunu Miris, or maybe a nice onion chili paste with Maldivian fish, which is dried tuna, goes down very well with savoury rotis, what I'm making today. And just beautiful, nice to eat, and Rose is just sitting there waiting. Daddy, can I eat it? Yes, of course you can. And here I'm showing you what colors to achieve, and time to time you need to toss it both sides, and maybe if you like you can add a little bit of butter, olive oil, or a bit of oil, so that it doesn't stick. And these are your beautiful rotis getting cooked. And also I have cooked a couple here for you to see. And this food is fantastic. And when I talk about the griddle, it is made out of cast iron. This is very traditional, and you can use it on a wood fire, or maybe the gas or electric. The cast iron flat griddle is used to do that, and that releases quick heat, and it just toasts the roti quite quickly and also very evenly. So that's the sort of color what we are trying to achieve. Nice golden brown, not too burnt, beautiful, and it's nice to eat. Here we are ready for a nice roti feed. And when I say food like no other, yes, I mean it. And we may travel, we may experience so much of beautiful food all over the world. Yes, we got millions of taste buds that we need to open up. And here we are. In a little way, this tasty food would open your taste buds. Cheers. Food like no one.